Hi, I'm Jacci Pillar, and welcome to Talk-ist, the show about everything and nothing, all tangents, all topics, and all trivia. And today I am excited to have a wheelchair driving, stick wielding campaigner and fashionista for disability parking and the founder of No Permit, No Park, Elisha Matthews. And Elisha, you recently did what?
I did an interview with a journalist on dating with a disability, predominantly online dating.
Interesting topic. I am a fan of Bad Dates of Melbourne and Bad Dates of Australia for reading through, and there's been a lot more frequent disability content on these sites, which is great to see because not only are our stories funny, but they're also exercises in education. So have you got any real humdingers for us?
There's been some really interesting ones, and it's a constant battle when you're dating with a disability about how soon do you disclose it, how much information do you give, and I've tried, not giving any information, not trying to conceal it, but not being upfront about it, and it hasn't gone well. So I decided honesty is the best policy, and I've included photographs of myself in my wheelchair, and it then attracts a completely different response.
Let's start with some good responses. Has there been some good responses, like maybe even humorously good ones?
No. I'd love to say that there was. Some people try to be delicate about it, but most of the time they're pretty upfront. People want to know, why are you in a wheelchair? And it becomes this whole history, medical history story, and they seem very disappointed that I don't have some tragic story to tell. All I say is I woke up one morning and I couldn't walk. My legs wouldn't talk to my brain. Being an ambulatory wheelchair user, I get faced with a lot of disbelief. Like, oh, well, if you can still walk, why are you still using a wheelchair? It doesn't seem necessary to them. But it attracts some very strange people, some very strange comments. People want to know how disabled you are, how much you can do. And of course, most people who have been involved in online dating will tell you that it often gets to sex very fast. Like, hi, how are you? Do you do anal? um, and so when a disability is involved, they want to know how much you're capable of when in terms of sex. And it's just really disheartening that that's what it comes down to. They don't even want to know about me as a person. They just want to know what they can do to me.
And like, this brings in huge issues of consent, which is a hot topic at the moment. But I suppose they're doing you a huge favour, because they're like, if they're instantly going to that, that's not the sort of person you want to be dating. It's a bit of a, hello, not a red flag, it's a flotilla of red flag.
Yes. So it does help you weed them out very fast, but it can be disheartening when you have a really high number of them, constantly coming in, and that's just the constant part of the conversation. Is that they want to know what your physical capacity is in the bedroom, and there are a lot of assumptions made, particularly for wheelchair users, that you can't, from so far down, nothing works, which is a huge misconception on their part. So they'll make assumptions. There is also a very concerning, I don't know if fetish is the right word, but people seem to have this disability fetish of some kind. And then there's the rape fantasy, which is quite frightening. And it's we're very vulnerable, I think, being disabled and it being physically apparent, from the time that they see your profile. We're very vulnerable to being targeted by those people. And I've had guys say things like, so if you're in a wheelchair, you can't get up and run away from me.
Ooh.
Very
I mean,
frightening.
this is very frightening. And this is the part of the reason why my walking stick also happens to look like a lightsaber and lights up like one, because I figure that at least having the illusion of being able to cut their legs off might be slightly helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty upfront with when my responses to those are usually, I'll still stab you. I'm quite capable of punching you in the face. Um, yeah, it's just really daunting to sit there and wait for the next message. But dating online is difficult for everyone. Before I even disclosed my disability, I still struggled a lot to, have a conversation that was maintained on both sides. I get very tired of the generic hi, and I respond with "Hi, how are you?" and they respond back with "Good." That's great to hear. How has your weekend been? Good. And then they've got the hide to contact you a week later and say, "So you're not interested then?"
For me, that's like at the Dante's ninth level of hell for me, because being autistic, I don't do small talk. So I've never ended up online. I'm also asexual. So I mean, I recently had a conversation with someone where they said, "Why aren't you reading romantic fiction to relax?" And I said, "Because I'm asexual." And what would that look like? Would that be like they gazed lovingly into each other's eyes as they commented on their brand new contact lenses? What would we be? Aromantic asexual online dating would be really actually quite interesting, I suppose. Look, thank you so much for sharing those stories. They're really tough topics, and I applaud you for raising them, because our community needs to be able to have examples where we've said, yeah, it's completely okay to say, no, I will defend myself against you. Elisha, thank you for raising these topics, because as a community, we're often seen as weak and passive, and we're not. We're capable of speaking up and standing up for ourselves, and I think that's a really important discussion to have. So thank you for being on Talk-ist's You Did What?
Thank you. It was great to be able to talk about it.